So management suggested that if I'm going to be the voice of the stir there, that said perhaps introduce myself, give you a bit of a history of who I'm all about. So that's what I'm going to do. So I am Lester P. Perkins, captain of the Skur, proud members of the King George Table Hockey Association here in Saskatchewan in the Greater Dominion of Canada. And yeah, I was, they tell me I was born in Louisiana. Now for the last story I'm going to tell you again, for you internet peoples, it's a bit of a longer tale there, so have some patience with old Lester there with telling the story, but I want to tell it as factually as I remember it, so here's the story right from the horse's mouth, as it were. So anyway, as a bunch of you know, there I play with Pa Kettle, and he works down in Hollywood on the off-season, so this one particular year, Pa says to me, he says, "Hey Lester, I think I can get you a gig down in Sin City, because I'm telling you, you're a splitting image of this guy Montgomery Clip." So, the first thing, of course, I said, well, what's the hours and what's the pay? Well, the hours are pretty early in the morning. That's not a bad thing for a farmer there, but the pay, I couldn't believe it. I don't even want to say the number, other than to say I just thought about it as one full pant leg of dough. You know, if you had, I don't wear my trousers too tight, so just imagine one pant leg full of American $1 bills. That's what they paid me. Ridiculous. Of course, you got to ask yourself, too good to be true, what's the catch there? What's the job? And Pa says the job's stand-around guy. And I says, what's a stand-around guy do? And Pa says he stands around. I says, I'll be there on Thursday. So anyways, I do get the gig, and people do remark how much I look like this Monty Clip guy, and I'm perfect for the job and stuff. And as Pa said, all you got to do is just stand around. You know, all these other fellers are flicking around with lights, and I kept saying, it's as bright as 12 suns right now. How much aren't you done yet? But anyways, the main job I do is just keep my mouth shut and tell me where they want to stand, and I just kind of squint through my eyes, because again, it's just so freaking bright out there, eh? So, that's it. That was the stand-around job. So it goes on for a couple of weeks, and sure enough, I see some business fellers all spiffity-boo in their suits there, and they're quite perturbed. There's about 4 or 5 of them, eh? And one's looking over at me, and I'm keeping an eye on this out of the corner of my squinted eye, eh? And I know I just keep thinking, gigs up. Well, it was fun while it lasted. So anyways, these business fellers, sure enough, started to wander over to my area where I'm working there, and this feller pipes up. They says, "Hey, Lester, we've been hearing that you've been doing a great job there, and we're wondering whether you want to take on more responsibilities." So of course I said, "What's the hours and what's the pay?" Now the hour's a little bit late, but basically I could stuff my other leg full of money with the amount they're offering. So, you can see the sequence. I says, well, what's the gig? And they said, yep, you're a sharp feller there, Lester. So it's basically standing around, only this time at parties. You see, Monty Clippy there, he hasn't been feeling too well. And in order for him to stay a Hollywood star there, he's got to stay in front of the camera, go out, and just be seen around town, you know. So all you got to do, go into a party, you'll be escorted there, got a couple fellers there who'll help you along, and just, you know, take a few photographs, shake a few hands, you'll meet some pretty girls, and then skedaddle. So they go on to say that they've been telling everybody Monty's got laryngitis, eh? So another key for me is just keep my mouth shut. They impart this most emphatically. It's just as soon as I open my mouth, gig's over. So they set me up with 2 fellers, nice enough clams there. It was Knuckles Mahoney and Slippery Fingers Johnson there. And they're going to escort me. And I can tell by their attitude and stuff that it's most crucial for me to keep my mouth shut. that they'll let me know no uncertain terms that if I do open my mouth, I'm in big trouble. So, fair enough, I says, and I got no problem with Knuckles and Slippery, nice fellers. We share a few beers on the way to the gig, and I start doing my night job there. Stand around guy to parties, I guess you call it. I don't know what you call it, but anyway. So they'd escort me in. I, was told also just look sour all the time, like somebody's pinching your arm or something. That's the way Monty really looks, sort of thing. So, just keep that up, keep your eyes down. And, so I went to a bunch of Hollywood parties. So, anywho, this is all going well for a couple of weeks there, and I start getting bold, So, go into this one party, and I immediately, instead of keeping my head down, I look up, and across the room, I see her. She was like an emerald, just sitting there, shining all pretty. I can't tell you how much I was floored by the whole sequence. Now, sure enough, she catches my eye and starts crossing the floor of this party, heading towards me. Well, I just start sweating bullets, like I knew my knees were shaking, and she comes up to me and says, "Hey, Monty, haven't seen you in quite some time." And sure enough, she comes up and puts her hands on my shoulders and kisses me on the cheeks, one on either side of the cheek. Holy jumping, and just a glow. That's all I can describe, is this magnificent heavenly glow from this angel. So, she does her little pecky things on the cheeks there. She's backing away, and I just blurt out, "You're so pretty." Well, jumping, I knew what I'd done right away. Her eyes open, she said something effective. "I knew it wasn't you." And old Knuckles, he puts his hand on me, and we're going stage left, exit quicker than I expected. Anyway, what was amazing one, this golden emerald there, Lizzie was her name, she just starts berating Knuckles and Slippery there and saying, "Just a second here." So what was amazing was how those boys just backed down. It was quite remarkable. So she scoots us all off to this little side closet thing and says, "I wants to know what's up." And she says, "And nothing out of you, Knuckles, there. I know how to fix your wagon." So he just shuts up, and she looks right at me. Well, that's the thing. I couldn't lie to her, so I tells her the whole story, and every, fourth or fifth sentence was, "Just, you're so pretty, I couldn't, keep my mouth shut." At the end of the tale, she starts to laugh. Well, she says, "Hey, isn't that the funniest thing I ever heard?" I say, "Look how about I just go back to Snake River there? This is too much for me." So she says, secret's safe with her, and nice to meet you, Lester, and all that. And that was the end of the story. And as long as the whole world, potentially, is listening in, I gotta finish this whole blurb there with, "Lizzie, you're still out there and doing well. I heard you went into nursing or something like that." Anyway, if you're still interested, come on up to Snake River. Old Lester's dance card's still wide open. So love to see you again. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, that's it. That's my story. That's basically who I am. Now just playing hockey. Farming and playing hockey. Okay, so I'll hit the red button now. See you later.